Olé! Okay, so the Montreal Canadiens have defeated the Maple Leafs in a 5-2 victory. Hey, Habs fans, you know what's cool about this game? Auston Matthews did not score against the Habs. It feels like every single game, the Habs and the Leafs face off, Matthews scores a goal, but in this one, he doesn't score, which is actually crazy. And in fact, Auston Matthews is one of the people whose names is being thrown out there by people on Twitter, people on Reddit, and it's not pretty. And in fact, it's not even Habs fans who are saying all this stuff, it's Leaf fans. So let's go over this game. I didn't watch a lot of it. I was out doing other things. I visited UBC today and I was having ramen with a few other people, but let's get on with the review. Post-game thoughts. Montreal is really starting to showcase what they can do when they're playing a team that's not all too hot. I'm not going to say that the Canadiens totally dominated the Leafs and that they're going to win the cup anytime soon, and I will say that the Leafs weren't exactly playing their best either. But what we did see in this game is a Canadiens team that knows how to capitalize on their opportunities, and that to me, as a secondary Habs fan, is really important. Now, as a guy who is a Canucks, Habs, and a Leafs fan, it doesn't feel good to see Toronto perform the way they did, but let's go over the review here. The Montreal Canadiens start things off on the board, and it's early. It's Brendan Gallagher who gets the puck off of a rebound 7 minutes into the game. It's Thomas Tatar's shot. It gets deflected out, and Brendan Gallagher on the side there is able to get the first one on the board. This one, pretty good play. It's what we expect from Brendan Gallagher, getting in those dirty areas, getting towards the side of the net, and being a presence that can just knock in those rebounds whenever he's given the chance. It's 1-0 Montreal. Brendan Gallagher has 5 goals on the year, and all looks pretty good. And then, 5 minutes later, it's Joel Armia who has the puck, and he sends it forward to Jonathan Drouin, who comes in on a breakaway. He dekes over to the backhand, shoves it on goal, and it's paused. The goalie is down. He's frozen. The puck is... No one actually really knows where the puck is for a second, but then all of a sudden the referee comes over, he has his arm down, it's a good goal, it's squeaked through the 5-hole, and it's stuck under the skate of Michael Hutchinson there. So Drouin has 4 goals on the year. Honestly, this is probably where we take a look at Drouin and we say, yes, this guy's playing some of the best hockey in his career, and it's only going to get better from here. Because Drouin in this game in particular was so strong, and he had 2 goals, which we'll get to the second one as the review goes along, but he gets in on the breakaway, gets a nice backhander, and it's a confident goal. It's a nice goal. Of course, it took a while for that to process, but obviously you love to see those kinds of goals than to not see them. But Drouin has been really, really great, especially after the controversy he went through in the summer where people were questioning, hey, this guy, does he have the work ethic? Does he have the skill to maintain an NHL level pace? But now he's doing good things against good teams like Toronto. And things are looking pretty gosh darn good for the Habs, because at this point it is indeed 2-0 for Montreal. The Habs totally dominating that first period with 19 shots on goal in correspondence to Toronto's 5. But in fact, Toronto needed one, and they needed one badly. So at the end of the first period, all of a sudden, it's Mitch Marner who pops out in front, throws it across to Jake Muzzin, who comes in with a shot, and he scores a last-second goal for the Leafs. At the end of the first period, where they were getting outplayed, they were getting outshot like crazy, and they were just getting out-opportunityed, they needed a goal, and they got a goal at the very end to really solidify themselves as a team that wasn't going to back down, and as a team that still had a chance to win. And in fact, in the second period, it's Andreas Johnsson who gets a goal to tie the game. And this one is a pretty nice one. It's a pretty ugly scramble, but in general, it's a really nice little clock right through the legs there. The puck is scrambled and Johnsson is there. He spins around and he has the puck kind of in his feet, and he backhand chips it through the legs to squeak by Carey Price. So all of a sudden, this game is tied. Morgan Rielly gets an assist on that goal, so he's at 10 assists on the year. Andreas Johnsson at 3 goals on the year. At this point, people are kind of saying on Twitter, okay, Carey Price, man, what's going on? It's kind of scary. The Muzzin shot wasn't a great opportunity, and honestly, he probably could have stopped that. Same thing with this one. It's a mad scramble, and it gets by him, but Habs fans, calm down. Carey Price holds down the fort, and eventually in the third period, it's 3 straight Montreal Canadiens goals to win the game 5-2. Let's go over them right here. The first one, it's Yoel Armia. 7 seconds. 7 seconds is all it takes for Armia to get on the board. He chips it by Muzzin, comes in by himself, pulls it over to the forehand, and he scores a very, very quick power play marker to take the lead. An absolute dagger for the Habs against the Leafs here. And it's a really quick one. I actually can't find it right now, but I do remember that really early goal that Gallagher scored earlier on in the year that was like the second fastest Habs goal ever or something like that. I'm not really too sure about that right now, but Armia gets a really quick one, and it's 3-2 Montreal at the very start of the third period, and things just get out of control from there. For one, Jonathan Drouin gets another one, his 5th on the year, an unassisted breakaway goal. This time, instead of going backhand cheese through the 5-hole, he just chips it up and he roofs it. Really nice goal for Drouin. And then it's Nick Suzuki with his 3rd on the year, 11 minutes into the third with about 9 minutes to go here. It's Nick Suzuki. He gets a goal, and this one was a pretty nice setup as well. It's pushed forward by the Habs. It's Nate Thompson. He throws it in front to Suzuki, who crashes the net, and he scores. That was assisted by Cousins as well, so really nice setup for those guys. That's how the game ends score-wise, but this is where we get into a little bit of the shenanigans and the penalties that weren't penalties and the hits and all that stuff. This was a rowdy game. Rowdy. For one, Max Domi. He was in an instance where he was punching a guy without the gloves on, and technically that would be considered a fight or an instigator or whatever. I'm not really too sure why he got away with that, but hey, NHL refs, right? Okay, that really wasn't all too fair. Then we talk about Auston Matthews. There was a moment in this game where one of the Habs players, I think it was Petrie, he got a really devastating looking hit on one of the Leafs. It was at the blue line of one of the team's zones, and then Auston Matthews, after the guy got hit, skated over towards the Habs player, I believe it was Petrie, and just kind of skated by him. And I saw people on Twitter calling out Matthews for that moment specifically, saying this is why Matthews isn't regarded as captain worthy, because he doesn't stand up for his teammates in situations where they get absolutely destroyed on the ice. Now, in my opinion, the defense does make sense. The defense being Matthews is a really skilled player. The defense being Matthews shouldn't be in a position where he's taking a penalty, because him not being on the ice is worse than him being on the ice, and Auston Matthews gives your team a chance to win. But in this game, we did see with Matthews and with Marner, the fact that they weren't super effective like they usually are. Sure, Marner got an assist, but Matthews wasn't the Matthews that usually shows up to play against Montreal. He scores like every game against the Habs, but this time he didn't, and in fact, he was more or less ineffective out there. At least in my opinion, when I saw the brief portions of the game that I did watch, this was a different Auston Matthews, and I saw on the Montreal Canadiens game day thread that everybody was really happy. Everybody was saying, yeah, okay, awesome, we did well. Carey Price, he wasn't amazing, but he shut up all the haters when he posted a really good save percentage at the end. Carey Price, 29 saves, 31 shots, so that's a pretty good save percentage. And I looked at the Leafs game thread, and I saw people being really frustrated with Marner and with Matthews, and the overall drive and the whole idea of how this team is being coached by Mike Babcock. So if you're a Leafs fan, comment down below what you think about that. because I'd be really interested in listening to the comments because I am a fan of both of these teams. So my Habs side is coming out and saying, yeah, awesome game, a Montreal win, but my Leafs side is saying, oh boy, what was that? What was that? Hope you enjoyed this video. 99 and bye.